Hello, I'm Super Orange Cat here, and today to give my thoughts and opinions on Fena Pirate Princess Episode 6 that aired last night on Toonami. So I'm going to say some of the things I liked and say some of the things I didn't like about the episode, and then just kind of give my full thoughts at the end of this video. So I was warned by numerous sources before this episode that this was going to be a very informative episode. Now, what does that usually mean? Usually, when something is an informative episode, that is a code for either a plot or an exposition dump. And by God, we did get a hell of one last night. So, some of the things I did like about this episode, I kind of like this little building intrigue they have between like the British, like Kenny, I forgot his actual name, the young boy that talked to Fana at one point, and Abel, who is the blonde, mysterious admiral at this point too, who talked to Fana at one point and apparently very wants her for her abilities to remember things that might lead to the One Piece. I mean, the Sword of Kusanagi. And I like those characters. And I like the intrigue they have with the female pirates, where it's clearly just your job was to get her unharmed. And then when it's like, oh, see, you cut her neck kind of because Charlotte got a little too happy with the sword. So screw it, I'm not paying you. That is commitment right there to not pay these badass pirates. Like, these are women we know aren't going to give no shit about anything. And it's like, I'm not paying you. It's like deciding, hey, I'm not going to give you a tip because there's a hair in my Szechuan shrimp. That type of dedication. And in a weird way, I love that. I like his character. I like how his character is building up right now, you know? And that's one upside of this whole show so far is the characters have been pretty good. They've been coming off the paper. And that's one upside that Fana has had as a show so far in basically every single episode. Other things about this episode, I kind of liked how the Goblin Knights figured their way out by finding, well, look, there's clearly overflow from the ocean or a stream right up there. Let's just bomb it. And how they just quickly referred to the Kaede and Inju as like the two monkeys. That part too. And honestly, kind of everything Karen did this episode too. How she was clearly not giving a shit too. I like that as well. But okay, now going on to some of the things I didn't really like about this episode. I foreshadowed this earlier by saying it was an exposition dump. Sorry about that. And it was one hell of an exposition dump. And these episodes typically get a bad rep for basically being still actionless episodes. You have to pay attention to everything it said because it's all going to come up later and it's going to be important to understand the plot. And yeah, it's a pretty accurate representation because these episodes really suck. You know, and one episode I've frequently pointed out recently as being a bad example of this is, I want to say it was the 6th episode of The Promised Neverland Season 2, where you have Ray and Emma talking to Norman and also the other Lambda kids, basically giving an exposition dump of, oh, this is what happened to me when I got sent to Lambda, and this is why I'm just going to go full genocide on these people, you know, and it was honestly nothing happening for 25 minutes, you know. And Fana Pirate Princess has a longer leash, considering it's an open-ended show. We're probably going to have more than one season of this, so they don't have to solve every little thing right now. But at the same time, too, when you have a good track record of actually having action in your episodes, to have an episode with absolutely no action in it, unless you count, I guess, exploding a hole in the roof of the cave to be action, this was a pretty boring, still episode when it comes to that, you know? And it's jarring. It's jarring because it's a absolute pumping the brakes on this, you know, this fun little ship we have, you know. And also, I've noticed a couple weird things with how they present, a couple things that kind of make little sense with how the show presents itself. Like, for example, you have Abel say, oh, these Goblin Knights are evil. They only want you because they know that you are the key to getting the Sword of Kusanagi. And which would work as, like, are they really evil? If we didn't have 4 or 5 episodes showing them goofing around, being legitimately friendly with Fana, not just like, oh, we're nice to get what we want. Like, they legitimately care about her. And then, like, the next scene, have the whole thing, have everyone outside of Shit Ton defend going after Fana. Every single person defend this. And Shiton wasn't even, like, against Fana. I was like, hey, look, we're in serious trouble if we don't follow orders. Like, I like Fana too, but we need to do this. And it's like, you took away any mystery of these people immediately. And that would have been a fun plot line of this people, Fana, and the audience trusted for so long. What if they're the bad guy the whole time? What if the British are actually the good guys for the first time in human history? Who knows? But they just take this away immediately. And that just seems like poor planning. And also too, and also this whole thing about the whole other stuff I didn't like was kind of like this whole thing about the necklace, the little heart amulet that Fana had that I think it was that Charlotte took off of her and gave to O'Malley, and O'Malley was acting like, "How the hell did you have this, Fana?" And Fana's like, "I don't know." You never saw this on her. She's wearing this pendant the entire show to this point. Every single scene, she is wearing that heart pendant until this episode. You have seen her multiple times. How come you never saw the amulet or pendant at this point and was like, I know what this is, and then really go after Fana for that? No, you're going after Fana because she knows the secret to the One Piece. That's why you're going after her. And it's like all of a sudden this becomes a plot point when this should have been a plot point earlier. It's like, no, I know this. I gave this to someone. Why do you, of all people, have it right now? And then they finally, I guess, reveal why Fana was on this first island in the first place, because she was kept by the British government because she implicitly knew where the Sword of Kusanagi was. And that's still such an egg noodle of a plot line. Let's be real here. Egg noodle of a plot line of where, oh, yeah. I know she's like 4 and probably doesn't remember a single thing outside of this really traumatic event, but oh, she knows everything. And it's like you're assuming that the dad told told a 4-year-old girl everything about his secret plans, which were important for the Empire or important for the Goblin Knights. And also, if Fana knows, why wouldn't any of the younger Goblin Knights, like, you already know Yukimaru was right there on that ship. He saved Fana right there on that ship. Wouldn't he, like, remember this and tell everyone else in the Ninja Island, hey, I think I remember where Mr. Houtman said where the One Piece was. Let's go after it. And they would have had it by now. So this makes no sense of a plot line. It's like it implies the dad took the daughter out, told her secrets, told her specifically, don't tell this boy I know you have a crush on about any of this, which she wouldn't do anyway. She would tell Yukimaru everything because it's clear she always had this thing for Yukimaru. In this episode, too, we get that full confirmation of Yukimaru being like, I love Fana. Yukimaru went full simp this episode. He went from being like Thought Slayer, the guy not keeping up with any woman's shit to this point, to I'm gonna do this risky thing. This awesome sword guy is gonna come kill me because I'm gonna do this. I know I'm gonna get killed by. I'm still gonna do it anyway because I fell in love with this girl. And it's just like it's just so stupid at this point. And it's like you have the show that was setting up its plot, setting up its characters extremely well to this point, to have this type of moment like this. And really the whole episode, I scratched my head more than I laughed or really enjoyed it. And also I'm gonna say it, this is not a spoiler because I don't have confirmation. I don't work for Adult Swim or William Street or whatever, but I am pretty sure Abel, the blonde, nice, sexy soldier guy, he's gonna be like Fana's brother or some shit. Because it's like, oh, she lived with the dad, I lived with the mom. It'll be like the Parent Trap, except for that. But except for he like held her hand. The only thing against is like he kind of held and kissed her hand. I don't know if British people did that for sisters or something. But again, and that made Fana blush like a co-ed freshman at BYU. But still, it just seems like you're setting transparently all this these plot twists up that I'm going to see coming, and a lot of people I think are going to see coming too. But all things considered, I was a bit disappointed this episode. Did it have its moments? It had a few pretty good moments. I'm going to be real here, but I mean, it was a step down from the rest of the series and up to this point. So I'm going to give this episode a 6 out of 10. What do you guys think? Did you love this episode? Did you hate this episode? Leave your comments, leave your thoughts, leave your opinions, leave your shit posts down below. I am the Super Orange Cat, and that is all.